Please make sure to subscribe and like. We're almost at 500 subs. Anyway, let's get started. Here we are again with Fnaf. You know, the internet can never get tired of it. It's interesting, this franchise has been going for almost 10 years now, and there's so much we still don't know about it. And with the recent release of Ruin, it adds even more questions to everything. What is the Mimic? Who created these mysterious suits? Where is Gregory? Why was Monty framed? Was he framed? And why does Monty sound so funny? And why does Freddy have Prototype written on his foot? Well, in today's video, I want to discuss some of those mysteries along with what the next possible FNAF game could be about. I want to shout out Steelwool though for making a really good DLC that is a good follow-up to Security Breach. I had so much fun playing it. Let me know down below, do you guys like Ruin as much as Security Breach or perhaps even more? Anyway, sit back and grab your Freddy Fudge Bar and your Chica Chug and let's go into this. Okay, so since Ruin has just released and was received very well, there are many confused people, including myself, as to what is the canon ending. A lot of people think that it's the elevator default ending and where Cassie finds Gregory, but to only be met with a terrifying giant animatronic, who this whole time had been mimicking Gregory's voice, tricking Cassie to shutting down all the security nodes and freeing it. Cassie, making this horrifying discovery, runs away from the Mimic. As she is trying to escape, the real Gregory somehow gets in contact with her through her radio and tells her that he has not been in the Pizzaplex for some time. He guides her to the caves until she reaches an elevator. She manages to get it open. She's safe. Until Gregory reveals how he can't risk being forever followed by this abomination. He somehow shuts down the elevator, seemingly killing Cassie in the end. Now, if this is the canon ending, which I will get into in a bit as to why I think it's not, then the next game could still be about Cassie. At first, we all thought that the real Gregory killed Cassie, but some believe that even at the end, it was still the Mimic, telling Cassie where to go so they can cut the wires or somehow deactivate the elevator. The Mimic no longer needs Cassie, it's free. All it has to do is just find a way out of the Pizzaplex. So, the next game could be about this. Cassie finds herself even deeper underground in the Pizzaplex as she's laying there hurt under some debris. Roxy, who Cassie thought she deactivated, comes back to save her, holding no hard feelings against her since she did stand between the Mimic and her. She finds Cassie and helps her, guides her through the Pizzaplex. This game would kind of be like Security Breach. Roxy would be like Freddy, and Cassie would be like Gregory. An ability I think Roxy can have is her run charge attack that she uses, like how Gregory has the ability to go inside Freddy's stomach. But what would this game be about other than trying to escape? It could be where it's up to Cassie to find the missing parts of the rest of the animatronics, to try and fix them. For example, Chica's beak, which didn't do anything major in the DLC. People thought that if you were to find it and fix it for her, you'd trigger something secret, which didn't happen at all. So, you would fix her beak, then you'd go find Monty. You know, I don't think he's dead. Do you see the amount of things this guy has been through? No. He's still alive. You rebuild him, then finally you find Freddy, who's missing his head and is pretty beat up. As to why he chased us is unknown, but under his foot it says Prototype. Could this be a new Freddy? It must be, since our Freddy was really friendly. But why would Cassie rebuild these animatronics? Well, it's to have a chance for one last showdown against the Mimic. In the Mimic's description, it reads, "It is an experimental, immensely violent and intelligent animatronic created by Edwin Murray that has the special ability to copy the behavior and voice of anything it observes, as well as change its form to fit into any animatronic suit." End quote. Edwin Murray, one of the main characters from Tales from the Pizzaplex, Book 5 and 6. Perhaps the smartest and strongest animatronic we have ever seen. At the climax of this game, you have Cassie and her team of animatronics versus the Mimic, a fight for freedom. This game would serve as the second and final installment to the Pizzaplex Security Breach storyline. Let me know what you guys think down below. Okay, so like I said earlier, I don't think the elevator is the canon ending, which obviously I know just dusted the game prediction I just made. The reason I don't think this is the canon ending is because of the scooper ending. This one just makes more sense, and where Cassie, running to the left door instead of the right door, goes down this long hallway, passing this weird room where the Mimic follows her, trying to get her. By hitting the glass, a giant claw scooper thing comes down and grabs it, pulling it into the smoke. When everything clears up, we see the body of the Mimic laying there, lifeless. Game ends with Cassie seemingly safe, but still trapped. Why is it that Gregory got to have the good ending where he sits on the hill with Freddy and Vanessa, watching the sunset like Thanos while eating ice cream, and Cassie is stuck at the bottom of an elevator somewhere? This ending could have been a little shout out to Sister Location, which is cool with their scooper ending. I like to think that Cassie stopped the Mimic though for now, and now has to reach contact with Gregory or someone to help her escape before the Mimic or something else entirely comes to get her. On the subject of Gregory, the next possible game could be where he goes back to the Pizzaplex one last time to try and find and save Cassie, and together they battle the Mimic, either with the help of other animatronics or with something else entirely. How Gregory would have known that Cassie's in the Pizzaplex is still unknown, because we still don't even know if it was him at the end or an imposter. Because if it was him, killing Cassie is just too cold. Then again, he did body the other animatronics. A little crazy theory that I have is that while Gregory was creating the MXES system along with Vanessa, he was somehow corrupted the same way Vanessa was in Security Breach. I mean, for him to kill Cassie, what seems like his only friend based on the cutouts in Roxy's waistway like that, just seems too much. Or it really was the Mimic all the way until the end. Let me know what you guys think down below. let's step away from the predictions for a little bit and look into the unanswered questions that this DLC has given us that could potentially tell us the future of this franchise. Maybe the biggest one being what happened to Glamrock Bonnie. In Security Breach, we all thought that Monty killed Bonnie since Bonnie was last seen entering Monty's Gatorgolf, and Monty might have taken this opportunity to force Bonnie into an early retirement. As seen on this security message we get in our Fazwatch, it makes sense, the evidence and Monty's fixation with being in the glam rock band. So we all thought that Monty killed Bonnie until Ruin released. In Ruin, we actually see Bonnie's body and Bonnie's bowling all the way in the back. The only way to activate this is by deactivating all of the wet floor signs. When we approach Bonnie's body, we see him there lying lifeless. He's somehow still alive though, but he can't use his body. How we know he's alive? Well, his eyes are still glowing. What's interesting too is when you go and deactivate the wet floor signs, they give off small cries. Could this be Bonnie crying and pleading for us not to deactivate him? Or is it a calling for us to continue doing it so we can discover his body? Plus, notice how I said he was found in Bonnie's bowling and not in Monty's Gatorgolf. If he was supposedly killed by Monty, why is there 1, a giant bowling ball next to him, and 2, how would Monty move his body back to Bonnie's bowling without being seen? That's a tongue twister. Monty could not have done this. As we see in this ride, he looked up to Bonnie, wanting to be like him, achieving his dream. Why would he kill his idol? Was Monty a stan and took things way too far, or was he framed for such a horrible act? Hopefully we get these answers in the next installment, or maybe in another installment of Tales from the Pizzaplex titled Tragedy. That'd be pretty cool. Moving on to the Mimic. Not the Mimic specifically, but its other suits. What are these? We have a lion wearing a varsity jacket with the letter L. I'll call him Leo. As for the other two, it seems to be an elephant dressed with a circus theme. And finally, a bird with glasses and an apron. What are these mascot suits? Who made them? Could they be old suits from Fredbear's? Unlikely. Or could they be prototypes from William Afton, who created these before creating Freddy and choosing him to be the lead? Who really knows? Also, in the Mimic's dungeon, there seems to be more boxes that are empty. Could there be more suits out there? So I hope that we can get more information on what the heck are these. Could we possibly explore these in Help Wanted 2? Or could these show up in the next FNAF game? Who really knows? Let me know what you guys theorize down below. Okay, so I've talked about 2 possible future games, but what if Steelwool decides to do a hard right turn and go in a different direction? Instead of going to the future, we go back, like all the way back, before 1983, to where it all started. The next game could be in Fredbear's Family Diner, a location that still holds this sort of mystery to it, even though we know a good amount about it. So what would this game be about? Well, we would play as William Afton, before he turned to a corrupted, violent serial killer, and throughout the game he would slowly descend into madness. We would get to see him turn from a normal guy to what we see now. The game would end right before William is about to kill Charlotte Emily, daughter of Henry Emily, William's business partner. That'd be such a cool dark ending. We would finally get to see Fredbear's Diner without any pixels. Imagine, Fredbear's with the same graphics as Security Breach and Ruin. That'd be so cool. Plus, Steelwool has teased it with the many posters that can be found in Security Breach, so we've already been led to this idea. The game could also potentially tap into the mystery of the wonderful Fredbear Singing Show, which we know came before Fredbear's Family Diner based on the way these 2 advertisements look. I know some people think that it's not that old, but based on the 50-cent ticket prices, I'm going to say that's old. That's really cheap. This would be such a cool idea for a game, but there are some problems to it. Fredbear's Family Diner is just a diner. Diners, as you know, are small and there's nowhere near the size of a mega pizzaplex, so the map size would certainly take a hit. What would the greater overall story be? That's where the great creative minds of Steelwool Studios come into play. I'm not a game developer, I'm just sharing what I think would be a cool concept. Either way, maybe this could fit more as a DLC rather than a game, but hey, if you're hearing Steelwool, I would love this as a game. Back in 2019, specifically on May 28, 2019, Steelwool released FNAF VR Help Wanted, and to many was a very successful game, offering really fun levels to play through and once again adding more mystery to the franchise. This game was really great, the graphics, the jump scares, coming back to the first few FNAFs, basically remastered. But why do I bring up Help Wanted? Well, when the game was updated so that it can be played without a VR for normal console players, it had one really big Easter egg to it. In the last mission, Pizza Party, in the final room where Glitchtrap is trying to lure you onto the main stage, if you were to turn right to a previously inaccessible door but now if entered led you outside to the construction of Security Breach. Now, when this Easter egg was added to the game, it was something huge. The next FNAF game to be teased in a way like this was really cool. So, since Help Wanted 2 is approaching fast, I would assume that Steelwool would do the same thing, but not immediately. I think that once Help Wanted 2 goes onto console, which they call it flat mode, then we'll get a teaser, or maybe who knows, they might even just add it within the game, and the only way to activate it is by doing something special, you know, your classic FNAF stuff. So, I'm really excited for Help Wanted 2. Based off the trailer, it looks like Sish location will be one of the levels, or maybe our central hub. Or maybe we could get some security breach mini games. But would that make sense since the Pizzaplex has been abandoned and since Help Wanted is a game within the Fnaf verse? Why would Fazbear's Entertainment do that? But then again, I'm still excited. Will one of my predictions be right? Maybe, but probably not. I mean, maybe parts of some, but what do you think? Also, what are some of your predictions? What would you like the next FNAF game to be about? Even if it's a crazy idea, don't be ashamed to comment about it. No idea is a crazy idea. Also, thank you for the huge support of my videos and my channel. Please make sure to subscribe and like and check out some of my other videos. Anyway, we made it to the end, so I'll see you all in the next one. Take care and check those cameras.